My name is Valeria Camaño, and I am a member of this congregation and your worship associate today. On behalf of Reverend Dave Dunn, Director of Religious Education Lexi Brown, our music director Alex Peach, the greeters, and the technical team that is making today's live stream possible, I would like to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North Congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with the mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, all are welcome here. Welcome to all that are joining us remotely. For any visitors who are here with us for the first time, and if you are comfortable doing so, would you please stand and tell us your name and where you are from so that we can get to know you better? Are there any visitors on my left? No? On my right? Cool. Tomorrow is International Transgender Day of Visibility. Since 2009, it has been an annual event dedicated to celebrating transgender people and raising awareness of discrimination faced by transgender people worldwide. We have several adult enrichment offerings during second hour. They are listed on your order of worship, along with the Youth RE schedule and upcoming UUMAN events. The Pride Parade Committee is hosting a series of planning and meetings and would love for you to attend, including today during second hour. Social Justice is also meeting during second hour today to discuss several projects they're working on. Get involved and change the world with some of your favorite people around. Next Sunday's service entitled Silence Says It All, yet it will be highly Next Sunday's service, entitled Silence Says It All, will be a highly auditory experience, though not in a way you might expect. Though the service is not intended to be loud, 50 pairs of earplugs will be available for those who have hearing sensitivity. If you don't have hearing sensitivity, please leave the earplugs for others and feel free to bring your own. And finally, celebrate the Fuel UUMAN Stewardship Campaign and join for a lunch after second hour.
Good morning. I'm Marguerite.
I'm Carla.
And together we are the Fuel UUMAN Stewardship Committee for this year. Yay! So the good news is today is the last day for most of you. So as of this morning, we received 90 pledges in total for $225,000. So we're on our way. So thank you all for your generosity. So we're very happy to have received those.
I'm the bad cop. All right, so why do we pledge? We pledge because we believe in the principles of this church, we believe in the mission of this church, because we see what's going on in the world, and a lot of it we don't agree with, and because we want to stand and protect the values of the most vulnerable. So we need those 52 people that have not pledged yet to please make a stand and pledge so that we can achieve our goal. And also because you do not want to get our phone call next week, right? And when you hear these two different accents calling you, you know who is calling you. It's your pledge team trying to get more money from you. I also want to remind all the members that when we signed to be members of this church, we committed to pledge. So it's very important that we pledge so that we can sustain our mission and our work. And we cannot just sustain it, we want to expand it. So please pledge. We are going to be at the table. The pledge forms are there. So if you're here and you want to pledge today, please just come and talk to us. Now, on a good note, well, remember the joke about the island 4 weeks ago? Well, those 42 people are going to be stranded in the island if you don't pledge, because we'll come to get the others, and you are not going to be saved. So you want to pledge. All right, on a good note, we have some prizes to give out. We have this super cute chalice travel holder. Can you show it? That Liz Martin has designed and donated. We have 2 of those, correct?
Yes.
And one of them is definitely going to Lynn Hunnant for having done the trivia. Thank you. And the other 4 we decided to give. We have 3 of the beautiful ceramic chalice holders that Lynn has donated, and 1 more of the travel holders. And we decided to give those for 4 of the 2 people that pledged first, so that you would have saved us 3 weeks of pledging if everybody did that. All right. So Francie is one of the winners. She pledged on March 9. Thank you. Tanya, I don't think Tanya is here today. She's one of the winners. Rachel Osborne is also one of the winners. Yes, March 9. And Robin. So come to see us at the desk. And lastly, we have lunch to celebrate the end of the campaign for everybody but those 42 people. So join us for lunch after second hour. And if anybody wants to help volunteer to clean up and set up, we failed to ask for that in advance. So if you want to help us, that would be great. Thank you so much.
All right, and now let's greet one another in the hand or elbow of friendship.
Good morning. Today's call to worship by Sharon Wiley was written for the Transgender Day of Visibility. We speak so often of brokenness in religious life. Let's speak today of wholeness. You are welcome here, all of you. Every part of you beautiful just the way you are. Here you do not need to be something more or something less. No holding back, no hiding, no exerting yourself, no trying to do more or be more. You have inherent worth and dignity. Nothing to prove here. Nothing to prove to me or the person sitting next to you or to the children or anyone. You don't have to try to be witty or more quiet or more outgoing. You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair, your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful just the way they are. Every one of you, different from each, beautiful in your own beautiful way, breathtaking. And now let us light our chalice together.
And the chalice lighting is by Francis Cozier. May this act of lighting our chalice this morning remind us that we are stronger together because we are different and because we are one. And now, if you are able, would you please stand and sing our opening hymn number 1053 in the softback hymnal, How Could Anyone? Alex will play through once, and then we will all sing together. This is the time in our service where children, young and old, are invited to the front for our time for all ages. After the story, they are invited to exit the fellowship hall for kids' community and fun for all ages for the remainder of service. Today, the story will be by Roland Matthews.
Okay, Grandpa Rollins story time. And I brought my friends with me. You've met them before. We have Smokey. Oh, I'm so glad to be here on a Sunday morning. Unfortunately, I've got 3 friends and only 2 hands to hold them with, so excuse me if this is a little awkward. Got Curious George. Love the kitties. And finally, we've got Knee-deep the frog. Knee-deep. All right, so let me see if I can get this all arranged. All right. Okay. All right, team. I've called a meeting because we have a situation. We need to do something about this. Knee-deep, do you want to tell them what happened yesterday? Knee-deep, 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 knee-deep. That's right. Knee-deep was sitting on a lily pad, the frog pond, munching on a yummy fly, like frogs like to do, when along came Timmy with his dog Fido. And Timmy said, "Oh, look at that's knee-deep. I don't like frogs. Frogs are weird. Do you know why?" Miss Achibe, the science teacher, told us that a frog can change from a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy. Frogs can actually do that. She said it's part of just the way that nature makes so many wonderful different things, but I think it's weird. I think it's yucky. All right, Smokey, calm down, calm down. I know we're going to do something about it. We are Knee-Deep's allies, and that means we are helper friends. That's what an ally is. We're gonna deal with Timmy somehow, and actually, Knee-Deep kind of already did that. He gave Timmy a tongue lashing, like frogs do. And Timmy went running away saying, "Mommy, Mommy, I have frog slobber on my face. Please clean it off." But anyhow, we need to show the world that we are Knee-Deep's allies. We are helper friends, so we need to do something about this. What are we going to do to help our friend? Well, that's right, Smokey. We are going to show the world that we are Knee-Deep's friend. That means we're going to play with Knee-Deep. We're going to sit with Knee-Deep during snack time. We're going to do all those kind of things to show that Knee-Deep has lots of friends. So what else might we do? No, George. We are not going to steal Timmy's lunch and stick it in the toilet. That is not the way we deal with problems like this. That is not the right way. Okay, we're going to do something else. All right, we're going to spend time with Knee-Deep. What else are we going to do? Well, yeah, that's a good idea. We can talk to Timmy. We're not scared of Timmy. We'll go up to Timmy and we'll say, "Timmy, you said mean things to Knee-Deep and we don't like it and you need to stop," okay? That's what we're going to do. So I think we have a plan. We're going to show the world that we are Knee-Deep's friend and that we are going to talk to anybody who bullies Knee-Deep, who says mean things, okay? Now, one more question about this, and this is the hard one, and grown-ups don't always have the right answer for everything. Are we going to keep being friends with Timmy? Okay, that's kind of a hard one. Okay, Timmy says these mean things, and maybe there's a different answer for each one of y'all. What do y'all think? Knee-Deep, 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 Knee-Deep. Okay, Knee-Deep, I understand. Maybe you're just not going to talk to Timmy for a while, okay? You're just going to stay away unless he changes. What else? Okay, you're kind of undecided. You are the protection ranger, the great Smokey Bear. You're going to protect your friend, and then maybe some point you can be friends with Timmy. Okay, what else? Okay, you're going to go to Timmy and say, "Timmy, I'll be your friend and I'll play with you, but you have to stop saying mean things. I want you to stop saying mean things, okay? Got that? Okay. Well, gang, I think we have a plan. We have a plan for being an ally of Knee-Deep. And so let's finish up by singing our team song. And I've got to figure out okay, let's see, we got well, not yet, hang on. No, this is a different team song. All right, whoop, hang on. I got to get the gang put together here. Now, this is our team song for these three. Some of you who are of my vintage may remember a song from the 1950s, oh my, called the Mutual Admiration Society. Have any of y'all heard that song? So any of those you in grown-up land that want to join in, please do. Now this song has a really cool word, mutual. And mutual means the same for both. Like mutual benefit means good for both. Mutual admiration means people who admire or think well of each other. So let's crank it up here, gang. And grown-ups join in. We belong to a mutual admiration admiration society. My buddies and me, oh, we belong to a mutual admiration society. Okay.
Point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you are so moved, feel free to come forward, drop a pebble in the bowl, and express a joy or sorrow that you may have. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to share this morning, please type it in the chat.
Hi, my name is Nat Parker. I'm a member of this congregation, and this is a pebble of healing from my dear girl, Jamil. She broke her wrist a month ago, and it has been very slow to heal and is continuing to hurt her like crazy, and it's tough on her. So if you've got some healing thoughts, especially pain-relieving thoughts, that would be lovely.
Hi, I'm Bruce Langston. I've been a member of this congregation 29 years. I grew up in New Jersey. My father came from a big family. Most of his brothers and sisters lived near us. I had 30-some cousins. We were all best friends. We could walk to each other's house. We did that all the time. When I was 15, my dad decided we were moving to Florida, which might as well have been Mars. And we moved to Fort Myers, and I went my sophomore year to Fort Myers High School. And a classmate named Bob Banks, who was from Fort Myers and had lived there all his life, sought me out and befriended me. And he died this past week. It took me a long time to realize what it seemed like to me was a sort of selfless act for him to do that. He lived there his whole life. He was a fairly popular person, but he sort of took me under his wing and picked me up on Saturdays in his father's red convertible, and we went to the beach. And we kind of grew apart. And his feelings were hurt that I didn't stay his friend into our adult lives. And I guess I'm sorry about that, and sorry for Bob. They had a funeral for him in Orlando yesterday, and a lot of my classmates were there, but I couldn't go. So this is for Bob.
Hey, my name is Rachel Osborne. So about a month ago, I had surgery, and I have a pebble of joy because my recovery has gone so much better than I expected to, and my care circle was absolutely wonderful with giving me meals and food. I think I still have one casserole in the freezer, so it's been really great. I also have a pebble of sorrow for all the people that are being rounded up and abducted by ICE.
I am Richard Bomba, a member, and I have two pebbles of joy today. One is this past week I was fortunate enough to go to South Carolina to hear the Greenville Gay Men's Chorus combined with the Greenville Women's Chorus. And they did a performance of Susan B. Coleman's Sing for the Cure, a fundraiser for breast cancer. And my mother had breast cancer and was a survivor, but went through all the stages of breast cancer. You know, if you all know about cancer, you know there's different stages. And she survived, but it's an extremely emotional moment for me because I've never heard a choral work that specifically addressed that issue and that concern and that sorrow that comes along with it. And it was very impactful and very important to me to go to that also because it was the Gay Men's Chorus, and I'm hoping someday to be good enough with enough training to join the Atlanta Gay Men's Chorus. And that's one. And my second one is extremely personal because it has to do with UUMAN and it has to do with Alex Peach. And I joined the choir a little over a year ago, and I just want you to know, as a string person, as an instrumentalist, I've never sung in my entire life. And I never thought I had a voice. I never thought I would have a voice. And I, to be honest, thought that singing was kind of silly and commercial, and I didn't think it would make any difference here. I just thought it was noise. And I've learned that it is completely the opposite. It's hard to explain unless you're a musician, but when you play notes, you're playing, yes, it's very important to you to play the right notes and to try to get the feeling and all of that in there. But when you're singing words, all of a sudden, your heart gets pulled in a different direction because you're singing words. And you're going, damn, this is something. This is meaningful. This is powerful. And we sang Harbor Me, Will You Harbor Me, what we're doing today, last year, at a very tough time for me because I had gone through a divorce from my ex-husband 27 years. And he got thrown out by every single member of his family after he left me. And he had nowhere to go. And he showed up on my doorstep. And it was a very bad divorce. And he had nowhere to go but a hotel. And I harbored him. And that meant a lot because I realized that not only does music and the words change you, they make you a better person. They bring you more compassion, more empathy, more understanding, more caring globally rather than just yourself. So you're not. Anyway, go on, but I just want to thank this chorus. And I really want to thank Alex Peach because this is thank you.
I'm Miriam Patanian, and I have 3 pebbles today. One is a pebble of gratitude to our stewardship team for doing an awesome job, beautiful graphics. They play well together, so thank you for that. The second pebble is, over the last couple of months, John and I have been going through a kitchen renovation, which it's been fine. It's been fine. We have a basement and as another sink, so we're not washing dishes in a bathtub, whatever. And last night we were able to host in our almost done kitchen a dinner from the fundraiser. Where people were welcomed in to a sanded part of the kitchen with 4 different color stains on it because that's still not done. And we just had a lovely time with fantastic music from John Pruitt we sat on the deck and had a lovely dinner. So it was wonderful to break in that kitchen before it's even all done. And this third pebble is a pebble of love and concern for my colleagues in public health. I am a public health professional who is not a federal employee, and so therefore I can stand in front of a camera while we're being live streamed and not worry that someone is gonna send me an email tomorrow saying you're fired because you were on camera. They might be sending federal employees emails anyway saying that they're fired, or that you no longer work for the CDC, you're now working for the AHA, the Agency for a Healthier America. And there are all kinds of changes that are coming for those public health professionals who aren't going to be fired. There may likely be changes for people like me who receive indirectly all of my funds from CDC currently. And I have never in my entire career had anyone question that what I'm doing might be wrong. The people that we do our work for, with the limited resources we have, are the very people that all of us are working for to strive for justice and to transform the world. And there are people who have the absolute gall to say that that is wrong and we should not be working to make their lives healthier. So in any way that you can, fight, keep fighting, and hug a federal employee.
Stanley Parker. Happy to have a joy today. It's been a few years since my band Fish Eye and I played here, but next Saturday night we're doing a fundraiser and hopefully top off this campaign here. And it's $5 at the door. And we will be accepting tips, but all of the tips will be donated back to UUMAN. And if anyone that donates $500 or more will get an invite to a meet and greet with a band in the room back over there afterwards. And if at least 50 people show up, I will give an extra $50 on top of what we're managed to raise. So hope it's a success. I really hope you guys can make it, and see you next Saturday.
Hi, my name is Alex Beach, and I'm transgender. This stone is for hope, for all of you to become allies from the underprivileged. So many souls and lights of souls have been blown out through abuse, murder, and consistently face each day of being told you're in the wrong bathroom, it's wrong. Please be an ally for all of us. And this pebble is a pebble of concern. A while ago, I was diagnosed with herniated discs in my neck. Tomorrow, I meet with a neurosurgeon to discuss disc replacement in my neck. Currently, my herniated discs are flattening my spinal cord, and it will never get better. and it can only get worse. So I'm looking about the possibility of what it means to have fake objects take the real place of my neck. So I would appreciate any thoughts and concerns about meeting with my neurosurgeon tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm going to place a pebble for all those who affected by the earthquake in Myanmar.
And I'll drop one final pebble for all those joys and sorrows still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. Please let us keep one another in our hearts this coming week.
The song that you're about to hear is a very powerful song written by Dr. Issei Barnwell, originally part of the larger work, Safe House, Still Looking, which explores themes of refuge, empathy, and the plight of immigrants and refugees. It also evokes the experience of slavery, abolition, and resonate with the challenges faced by immigrants and refugees in general. The song raises questions about who we will offer refuge to and support those in needs. It explores the concept of spaces both safe, physically and emotionally, for those facing hardship. The song's titled, "Would You Harbor Me?" is a direct plea for compassion and understanding. The song's message about empathy and community is particularly relevant in the context of current global events and the increasing effects of climate change. Would you harbor me? You will find the lyrics inside of your program. And the choir will sing, "Would You Harbor Me?"
When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. These are the opening lines of the second chapter of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, which is the foundational text of Taoism. The symbol of Taoism, or at least one of them, is the yin-yang, circle, white, black. It's called the Taijitu, the yin-yang symbol. The yang is the white section with a black dot in it. The yin section is black with a white dot in it. Within the purity of yin, there is yang. Within the purity of yang, there is yin. We typically see the Taijitu as a static two-dimensional symbol, but actually, it's a dynamic, moving, three-dimensional symbol, body. On the surface, there's yin and yang, and they're different. They're black and white, they're different. But on a deeper level, when it's moving, it's meant to represent that they co-create one another. Each contains the seed of its opposite. Like phases of the moon, waxing and then waning and waxing and waning continuously. Aspects of the natural world are often described as being yin or yang. They're categorized that way. Yang is the active part. It's forceful, fiery, light, the sun, the crest of a wave. Yin is passive, dark, shadow, restful, represented by the moon. It's the trough of the wave. But let's not forget, in Taoism, each contains the seed of its opposite. With all the sensory signals that we process in our everyday experience, it's natural for the mind to categorize things, put them in boxes, absolutes, binaries. That's what the mind does. We categorize things as yin and yang, black and white, good, bad, dangerous, safe. And then our mind moves on to something else. Nuance actually requires a lot of computing power on part of our minds. Nuance is more difficult. But after categorizing something, the mind just moves on. The idea that native peoples couldn't see Columbus's ship when they appeared on the horizon is a myth. The native peoples saw the ships. They had boats and ships themselves, but they probably never saw a ship like that, right? That big sails. And I often wonder, how did they categorize those ships? They probably saw the ships and said, danger. Or perhaps curiosity. But either way, they had to deal with the ships. They had to do something. Often, when the mind knows that it doesn't have to deal with something, it categorizes that thing and moves on. Or perhaps it doesn't even categorize. Perhaps it doesn't have to. Perhaps it doesn't even bother seeing that thing. That thing is actually invisible and actually doesn't even exist. In Ralph Ellison's book, Invisible Man, the main character was a black man living in New York. And he says, I am visible. Understand? Simply because people refuse to see me. People saw him on one level, on this surface physical level. Yes, they saw him, but they never went deeper than that. They really didn't see the true essence of him or his humanity. They might have categorized him as, oh, black man, poor, whatever. That's it. That's as far as it ever went. But for all intents and purposes, he was invisible. He didn't exist. In a way, that's what the Black Lives Matter movement is a response to. It confronts our society with the invisibility of black lives. On the surface, we all talk about inherent worth and dignity, that all are created equal, that all lives matter and all things are important, but they don't feel that. They're not feeling it. They say, you see the surface, but you never see the true essence of my humanity. And for all intents and purposes, we don't exist. We're invisible. As I mentioned, or as we mentioned in our announcements this morning, tomorrow is the International Transgender Day of Visibility. It started in 2009 to commemorate the lives of transgender people and to raise awareness as to the discrimination against them. Visibility, again, visibility. The tragic nuance of this visibility, however, is that on one hand, many transgender people feel invisible, yet on the other hand, many transgender people wish to remain invisible. Why? Because they don't trust us with their visibility. They don't trust us based upon what happens to transgender people when they become visible. If we truly believe in the yin-yang of all things, that everything contains the seeds of its opposite, if we believe in the interdependence of all things, and that includes all of us, if we believe in inherent worth and dignity, and I believe in these things, we have to do a better job as being allies to all people, to be advocates, to see the humanity in all of humanity. We've made great strides, actually, in recent years. But without a doubt, those great strides are a great threat to people who are clinging, and they are clinging to a small piece of earth, longing for a bygone America where trans people, people of color, women, immigrants are invisible, that they don't exist, that they want them to be relegated, confined, and condemned, once again, to perpetual and everlasting invisibility. On June 27th, 2016, the Obama administration designated New York City's Stonewall Inn as a national national monument. Stonewall was where in 1969 there was a riot, and that became the starting point for the LGBTQ plus rights movement back in 1969. So the Obama administration designated Stonewall as a national monument. Since the inauguration 2 months ago, all references to transgender have been scrubbed from their website. It used to say LGBTQ plus on the Stonewall National Monument website. Now it just says LGB. Don't be surprised if that historical designation is removed in the near future. Then our president issued an executive order banning trans people from serving in the military, saying that, quote, the inclusion of transgender service members might impact overall military readiness and effectiveness. Now, when this order was challenged in court, the presiding judge, Anna Reyes, described the order as an attempt to label, quote, an entire category of people dishonest, dishonorable, undisciplined, immodest, and lacking integrity. People who have taken an oath to defend this country, who have been under fire, and who have taken fire for this country. She said that the executive order showed unadulterated animus towards transgender people, and that portions of the order were frankly ridiculous. But shockingly, when the Judge Reyes requested evidence from the government's attorneys as to why this executive order needs to be in place, shockingly, they didn't have any evidence. The judge gave them 10 days. Find me a military officer willing to testify that this order should go in place. 10 days, nothing. They didn't present a witness to testify. Actually, I'm not surprised. You're not going to find a lot of competency when you look behind the curtain in this administration. You're not going to find competency in the Justice Department, in the FBI, in the Defense Department, Department of National Intelligence, Department of Homeland Security, and definitely not in the Department of Health and Human Services. Sadly. Can I get a sad amen for that? Amen. Yeah. So without evidence, let's just call this executive order what it is. It is blatant and outright discrimination. In her opinion, blocking the order, which is being appealed, Judge Reyes writes, in the self-evident truth that all people were created equal, all means all. All means all. Nothing more and certainly nothing less. And that leaders have used concern for military readiness to deny marginalized persons, first minorities, then women in combat, then gays. The attorney for the plaintiff said, it's just an echo of a shameful past. And it is. These actions, along with the deportations that people were speaking about during Joys and Sorrows, the removal of all things DEI, they're attempts once again to relegate, confine, and condemn people to everlasting invisibility. And on Thursday, he turned his attack to American history. He issued another executive order called Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History. You can't make this crap up. If I weren't crying, I'd be laughing. He says it's a response to, quote, a revisionist movement, which what actual historians would call the continuous uncovering of our complicated, sometimes inspirational, and sometimes tragic events. American history. It's complicated. But the administration wants to ensure that American history is celebrated accurately, with pride, honoring the nation's progress and its foundational principles. I don't know. You can't make this up. In the same executive order, he's asking the Department of Interior to determine, since 2020, a specific date, which coincides with the murder of George Floyd, okay? Since 2020, they want the Department of Interior to see if public monuments, memorials, statues, markers, or similar properties within the Department of Interior's jurisdiction had been removed or changed to perpetuate a false reconstruction of American history. All these actions are an effort to say to broad swaths of Americans, mostly marginalized Americans, that we're in charge, we're in control, and you don't matter. Make America Great Again is code for let's make broad swaths of American citizens invisible again. When talking to his people, he says that this land was made for you and me, period. Again, they're clinging to a small patch of a bygone era that ultimately won't come back, actually never existed. Unfortunately, for the vulnerable, they have weapons and they have a lot of co-conspirators with them who are willing to inflict some damage. His vision for America is an absolute America, a one-sided view of America based on a past that never was. He just sees effects. Real people are invisible, means to an end. He has no awareness, likely doesn't care about these effects, that the seeds of these effects are caught up in their opposites, that the part of the greatness and freedom that he glorifies is wrapped up in the depravity and slavery of black bodies. He has no awareness and likely doesn't care that the amber waves of grain served as bread on his gold-trimmed plate were likely harvested by undocumented people. And they harvested the fruited plain as well. No, their MAGA view is an absolute one-sided myth, a world of make-believe. But we know and we believe that our freedoms are bound up in everyone else's. We know and we believe that lack of diversity leads to an inbred weakness in our culture and our society. And for these reasons, we will continue to celebrate and practice diversity, equity, and inclusion in all of its difficult ways. It's unwieldy and inconvenient, but we're still going to do it. We know and we believe that diversity, equity, and inclusion results in a tapestry of strength. And that is a pillar of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Now, I will close with the reading by Tamara Lebec, and it's entitled A Prayer for America. God of many names, you who has endowed us with the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, we ask for forgiveness this day for our national and individual transgressions when we have chosen inaction or silence in the face of injustice and the abuse of power and our failure to claim our own. We ask for forgiveness for when we have not known our neighbor, fed our hungry, equipped our future generation with knowledge and love. Let us remember this day that in this country there is no national religion, there is no superior race, there is no preferable gender or orientation. We gather holding a common value, that the glory of this country rests first and foremost in its diversity. Out of many ideas, out of many beliefs, out of many views, out of many voices, out of many passions, out of many experiences, we are one. Help us, O God, to never forget that we need not be alike to love alike. We ask for a blessing on this nation according to our faith and forms, and pledge our voice in support of moving closer and closer to freedom. These, in the prayers of our hearts, we pray now. In the name of those who have come before and and those who are yet to be, in the names of all the helpers of humankind. Amen.
In an effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, treasure, and talents. With this, we will now take the offering. You may also use the Give Now option in the Breeze app. This month's 50/50 recipient is Project Hope. Any check specifically designated as 50/50 or any Breeze donation specifying Give to 50/50 this month will go to support their work.
We accept this sacred offering generously given by our beloved members and friends. May we use it wisely and judiciously in service to our mission.
If you are able, would you please stand and sing our closing hymn, number 170 in the hardback hymnal? We are a gentle, angry people. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Circle for relief.
gather holding a common value, that the glory of this country rests first and foremost in its diversity. Out of many ideas, out of many beliefs, out of many views, out of many passions, out of many experiences, we are one. Go in peace and enjoy your week.